What's going on, legends? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm bringing us a quick mission guide for the Legion Tier 5 mission from Season 2 here in Season 3, known as Out of the Deep. Now, before we dive into it, if you guys do enjoy this content anytime or find this video helpful in any way, make sure you show your support for the channel by going down below and smashing that like button. So go ahead and throw an easy goal of 150 likes on today's video, as well as if you guys would like to find your way back to the channel for more Call of Duty content, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button alongside that notification bell so we don't miss you future videos. All right, so this mission is going to be two parts, and it is one of those that has a required weapon, so those can be kind of frustrating. Part 1 is asking us to kill 20 enemies from the surface of the water with a TAQ-M with 6.5mm high velocity rounds, a Luca Bandera scope, and LR1 20.5-inch barrel. So you guys are going to need to assemble a TAQ-M insured weapon with those specific 3 attachments. The other 2 attachments, I ran a bigger magazine and the F-TAC ripper for my underbarrel. But you guys are going to want to assemble that weapon so you guys can go into the map and be able to actually challenge enemies from the surface of the water and get that progress. Now what you're going to want to do is head over to Ashika Island. It doesn't specify it has to be Ashika Island. It will definitely be a lot easier over on Ashika Island regardless, as there is more lines of sight that you can see from the water, and that way you guys be in the surface of the water and be able to get your eliminations. Over on Al Mazrah, it'd be quite difficult, so I definitely don't recommend that. So what you're going to need to do is go into Ashika Island, and you're going to want to go to a couple of different locations. The shipwreck can be pretty good if you can find enough enemies, but the Port Ashika is definitely a great place to be able to do this, as you can pretty much hang out at the surface of the water and get a pretty good view of some of the enemies. And also, it is great to swim into the waterways, because on the left and right sides of the waterways, there will also be enemies that you can eliminate as well. Now, you don't have to do this in a single match, so there isn't really a rush to do this quickly unless you just want to get it knocked out in a single run. You guys could pretty much make your way through the waterways, eliminating the enemies on the left and right side, be able to knock this out fairly quickly. It could take you a couple matches, but if you guys aren't stressed out about how quickly you get it accomplished, that could be one of the best ways to go about this. But you guys are going to want to stay in the water, make sure you're at the surface, and be able to aim at enemies. Take them out by headshots would probably be the easiest way, especially because you're going to be using this specific weapon that is really only beneficial with headshots. Sometimes if you're lucky enough, you can actually bait the enemies to the water itself, and you guys should be able to just jump into the water and be able to pick them off. But once you guys are able to eliminate 20 enemies from the surface of the water with this specific TAQ-M and the 3 attachments, this will wrap up part 1. Now, part 2 is where things get a lot more challenging. It's asking us to kill 5 operators from the surface of the water. This can be significantly more challenging than any of the other missions that require operator kills, for the simple fact that it is pretty hard to get operators to be in an area where you'll be able to eliminate them from the surface of the water. There's only a couple places where I feel like this is going to be really logical. It's going to be in the waterways itself, so you'd have to come across operators in the waterway and also be able to put yourself in a position to be able to take them out. While you are swimming at the surface of the water, it can be pretty challenging to take on opponents. And I think the location that you can be the most successful is going to be over in Port Ashika, and obviously you can work into the waterways from there. These are going to be the places I feel like you'll have the best opportunities to run across operators in a place where you'll be able to eliminate them from the surface of the water. There's plenty of other places on the map where you can be in the water and possibly still get the elimination, but it can be a lot more challenging due to the walls or other things that obstruct your line of sight, which wouldn't allow you to be able to get those eliminations. So my recommendation is definitely to go over to Port Ashika, kind of hang out at the surface of the water. If you have a couple of UAVs, that can help as well. If somebody gets a bounty on you, or a kill squad contract, I should say, and they're kind of hunting you, you and your squad could go over to the water area, kind of hang out in that line of sight. That way you could kind of increase your odds of at least getting into the situation where you are in a gunfight. Other than that, I recommend going through the waterways. There's going to be times where people are going to have to come in here for missions. It's actually quite challenging to stay accurate while you're at the surface of the water, because it kind of has you moving around. So getting eliminations on other opponents that aren't actually in the water can be quite difficult. One thing that you could do that could be pretty beneficial, especially in the waterways, but you could also use in some other areas as well, is to actually knock down an enemy operator while you aren't in the water itself, and jump into the water, stay at the surface of course, and then finish them off. Same thing would work as if one of your teammates is not in the water, they manage to knock an opponent and you're in the water, you could obviously finish them off and it should still count as an elimination. Something else to keep in mind is it has worked for other missions that require enemy operator kills, is if your teammate's also in the water and they manage to down somebody and then you finish them off for the elimination, it could very well count as 2 eliminations, significantly decreasing the amount of time it would take you to obviously get this wrapped up. And in that case, you'd only need 3 eliminations instead of 5, which would make it significantly easier, especially with something as difficult as this mission. Once you guys are able to find the line of sight to get an elimination on 5 separate enemy operators while you're on the surface of the water, that will wrap up this mission. That's going to wrap things up for today's quick mission guide. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all the support in the channel, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.